All right, Shalom. So, I want to express, man, and sitting here, it feels like I'm just looking into a damn computer screen, right? I can't see the people, but the people will be commenting to me and stuff, and it means so much to me, man, to get to share information. Um, and I tell you what, I always look at people's moniker to see if they make videos. And a lot of the people just be studying and just it seemed like just to know stuff, man. Like I don't know. I guess I'm more vain than that, but you know, wow. A lot of the people that comment on the channel study a lot of stuff, and it's really cool to. It's really evident, first of all, and it's really cool to exchange ideas. So I just, personally, I appreciate it. So we're gonna continue here with this Portuguese shit. And so we're going to start right here. In the year 1509, the second Admiral Don Diego Columbus, which I believe was Christopher's son, went into the island of Hispaniola with his wife, Dominican Republic now. And she, being a gentlewoman, carried with her many other women of good families, which were there married. And so the Spaniards and the Castilians began to people the country. For Don Fernando the king had given them license to discover and people the towns of Hispaniola. So 1509. So that the same place grew to be famous and much frequented. The foresaid admiral also gave order to people steal the island of Cuba. Well, I guess it's a process, right? They already murdered everybody. Now they're bringing in their people. So he also gave order to people the island of Cuba, which is very great and large. And wait, I went too far. And very great and large, and placed there as his lieutenant one Diego Velasquez, who went with his father in the second voyage. Okay, now we're gonna go to, just wanted to show that 124. The peopling of the lands. Now we're gonna go to a couple different things here. Okay. In the year 1513, Vasco Nunes de Balboa, hearing speech and news of the South Sea, determined to go thither, although his company dissuaded him from that action, but being a man of good valor with those soldiers. I was trying to see where to start reading on this. Hopefully I picked the right spot. I don't know why this shit ain't jumping when I hit the motherfucking... Okay. Yeah, okay, yeah. This is it. That he had, being 290, he resolved to put himself into that jeopardy. Jeopardy, right? He went there, sometimes it's like a little puzzle. He went therefore from Darien, again, the first day of September, carrying some Indians of the country with him to be his guides, and he marched outward the land, sometimes quietly, sometimes in war, and in certain places called Carica, he found Negroes, captives with curled hair. And here we're going to see, I believe he's lying, right? Because he's been seeing plenty of dark-skinned people. I don't know if they had a different designation for what a Negro was back then. I don't know if I'm even possibly surprised to see that word used that far back. But I believe that this is just discrediting him. I think that he perjured himself in this, is what I think. So it made me it made me say, hey, he lied about something. And never go up to that time. And here's the lie, right? Okay, so it said in certain places called Carica, Carisca, whatever, found Negroes captives with curled hair, and never up to that time were there others seen or known until now. In all these parts of New Spain, Golden Castile and Peru. Ooh, just to negate a couple words, you had to write three sentences. And this Golden Castile, I couldn't find it at first, but it's down over here in Spanish. It's the whole area that we're looking at, like what do they call Central America? New Spain would be Mexico. Golden Castile is Central America, Panama, that stuff. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, sorry, Golden Castile and Peru. This Balboa came to the site of the South Sea on the 25th day of the said month, and on St. Michael's Day came unto it, where he embarked himself against the will of the Chiapas, the natives, the Chiapas. Here they are again. And now they're down in the area of Panama. Who was the lord of that coast? Who was the lord? Maybe that's one person, Chiapas. Anyway, maybe I'm tripping. Who was the lord of that coast, who wished him not to do so because it was very dangerous for him. So wait, did I? Where he embarked himself. So he's going out into the ocean, right? And against the will of Chiapas, whoever is that, who was the lord of the coast, who wished him not to do so because it was very dangerous for him. But and we're going to read a little bit here. There's a few good things in this next couple of pages, all strung together. But he desires to have it known that he had been upon those seas, went forwards, and came back again to the land in safety. And he returned with great contentment, bringing with him good store of gold, silver, and pearls, which he stole, which there they took, for which good service of his Don Fernando the king greatly favored and honored him. Okay, this year, 1513, in the month of February, Alfonso de Albuquerque went fro the city of Goa. Now, this is in India. Towards the Strait of Mecha with 20 ships. They arrived at the city of Aden and battered it and passed forward and entered into the strait. They say that they saw a cross in the element and worshipped it. They wintered in the island of Cameron. This was the first Portugal captain that gave information of those seas and of that of Persia. So they were going and checking out Persia, being things in the world of great account. Absolutely. In the year 1514, in the month of May, there went out of St. Lucar one Pedro Arias de Avila at the commandment of Don Fernando. He was the first governor of Castilla de Oro. There's Golden Castile, or Golden Castile. Okay, for so they named the countries of Darien, Carthagena, and Faraba, and that country which was newly conquered and brought under government. He carried with him his wife, the Lady Elizabeth, and 1,500 men and 7 ships. And the king appointed Vasco Nunez de Balboa governor of the South Seas and of that coast. In the beginning of the year 1515, the governor, Pedro Arias de Avila, sent one Gaspar Morales with 150 men unto the Gulf of St. Michael to discover the islands of Tariqui, Chiapas, and Tumacas. There was a cacique, Balboa's friend, which gave him many canoe or boats made of one tree to row in. Now, I believe this is back in Golden Castile, Central America, wherein they passed into the island of Pearls. The Lord whereof resisted them at their coming on land, but Chiapas and Tumacos did pacify him in such order that the captain of the isle had them home unto his house, and made much of them, and received baptism at their hands, naming him Pedro Arias after the governor's name. And he gave unto them for this a basket full of pearls, weighing 110 pounds, whereof some were as big as hazelnuts of 20, 25, 26, or 31 carats, and every carat is 4 grains. There was given for one of them 1,200 ducats. The island of Tarahui standeth at 5 degrees of latitude towards the north. In the year 1515, in the month of March, the governor sent one Gonsalvo the Badass with 80 soldiers to discover new lands. And they went from Darien to Nombre de Dios, which came unto them one Luis de Mercado with 50 more men, which the governor sent to aid him. They determined to discover towards the south, saying that that country was the richest. They took with them Indians to be their guides, and going along the coast, they found slaves marked with irons, as the Portugals do use. And having marched a good way through the countries, with great travail, they gathered together much gold and 40 slaves to do them service. But one cacique named Perissa did set upon them, and slew and took the most part of them. So they got their asses whooped. All right. Um, the governor hearing of these news, the same year, 1515, sent forth his son John Arias de Avila to be revenged and to discover also by sea and by land. They went westward to Cape de Correr, standing in a little more than 6 degrees toward the north, and from thence unto Punta de Baricua, and to Cape Blanco, or the White Cape, standing in 8 degrees and a half. They discovered 250 leagues, as they affirm, and peopled the city of Panama. Peopled the city of Panama. So we see that they're peopling all these places, peopling these places, peopling these places that they murdered off the people and stole. Now they're peopling and bringing them their people. In the year 1515, in the month of May, Alphonsus de Albuquerque, governor of India, sent from the city of Ormuz one Fernando Gomez de Lemos as ambassador unto Jek, or Shah Ismail, king of Persia. I looked this guy up, man. I had it on my other computer, though. If you just want to look it up, we could do it real quick. What was it? Shag Ismail. I remember two different things came up. Ismail. Is that right? Yeah, Shag Ismail. One of them was from Morocco. One of them was from the one from Morocco was a real nut. Very murderous. Anyway, it didn't say much about the one in Persia anyway. So this is a king of Persia. Oh, I know what I did. I googled the whole thing, right? Shah Ismail, king of Persia. Ismail the First, also known as Shah Ismail, was the founder of the Safarid dynasty of Iran. And so, yeah, wait, I'm wrong, man, because this was interesting, because it was a fucking contemporary of the time. Wait, what? Ismail was the founder of the Safavid dynasty in Iran, 1501 to 1524. Anyway, And it is declared that they travailed in it 300 leagues, and that it is a pleasant country like unto France. This Zek or Shag Ismail went on hunting and fishing for trout, whereof there are many, and there be the fairest women in all the world. And so Alexander the Great affirmed when he called them the women with golden eyes. And this year, this worthy Viceroy Alphonsus de Albuquerque died. In the year 1516, and 100 years after the taking of Quetta in Barbary, um, Quetta was one of the kingdoms, the Spanish kingdoms in Barbary, North Africa. Um, the other one was Sabta, like in Genesis 10. Lopez Suarez being governor of India, there was a dispatch made by the commandment of the King's Highness unto one Fernando Perez de Andrada to pass to the great country and the kingdom of China. He went from the cities of Cochin in the month of April. They received pepper, being the principal merchandise to be sold in all of China for any value. And he was further commanded by the king, Don Emmanuel, to go also to Bengala, which I would guess is India, with his letter and dispatch to a knight called John Coelho. Maybe somebody, I didn't notice that before. It's strange that there would be a knight called John Coelho. Maybe it's not in India. Bengala, Bengal. I'm guessing that's Bengala is India. I don't know. Maybe somebody knows who that is. This was the first Portugal, as far as I know, which drunk of the water of the river of Ganges. In the year 1516, this is the last page. Okay, this is the last page in this set. In the year 1516 died Don Fernando, king of Spain. In the year 1517, this Fernando Perez went unto the city of Malacca, and in the month of July he departed from thence towards China with 8 sails, 4 Portugals, and the others Malayans. He arrived in China, and because he could not come on land without an ambassage, there was one Thomas Perez which had order for it, and he went from the cities of Canton, like Cantonese, where they came to an anchor. They went by land 400 leagues and came into the city of Peking, where the king was. For this province and country is the biggest in the whole world. I think there's a little bit. I think we're gonna go ahead on. I think that was it from there. So we're gonna go to 130. Oh, we're on 130 anyway. Okay. Just making sure that there ain't nothing. I'm gonna skip it. In the same year, 1517, Charles, which afterward was emperor, came into Spain and took possession thereof. And in the same year, now we're talking about the Holy Roman German Empire. Holy Roman German Empire. Okay. Charles V, took possession of Spain, 1517. And in the same year, Francis Fernandez de Cordova and Christopher Morantes and Lopez Ochoa armed 3 ships at their own proper charges. They came out of pocket for it, from the island of Cuba. They had also with them a bark of Diego Velasquez, who was then governor. They came on land to Yucatan, standing in 20 degrees of latitude at a point which they called Punta de las Duenas, that is to say, the Point of Ladies, which was the first place wherein they had seen temples and buildings of lime and stone. Okay. The people here go better apparelled, they dress nice than in any other place. The people here go better apparelled than in any other place. So this rich people, they have crosses which they worship, setting them upon their tombs when they be buried, whereby it seemeth that in times past they had in the place the faith of Christ among them. And some say that thereabouts were the seven cities. They went round about it towards the north, which is on the right hand, from whence they turned back unto the island of Cuba with some examples of gold and men which they had taken. And this was the first beginning of the discovery of New Spain. Um, okay. 130. Okay, so we're almost done. 133. 1518. Okay. So right here. I'm gonna just read. I'm not sure. In the year 1518, governor of the island of Cuba sent his nephew with 4 ships and 200 soldiers to discover the land of Yucatan. They found in their way the island of Cozumel. You know what? This isn't it. This is the next one. In the same year, 1518, one Francis Garay. I'd be interested to look up this guy. It hasn't been working, huh? Francis Garay. And let's say what, Explorer. Hmm. There he is. Anyway, arms 3 ships in the island of Jamaica at his own charge and went towards the point of Florida, standing in 25 degrees towards the north. Sorry. Seeming to them to be an island more pleasant, thinking it better to people islands than the firm land, because they could not conquer them and keep them, they went there on land. But the people of Florida killed so many of them that they durst not inhabit it. And the people of Florida, I remember, it's funny too, man, to end up reading about Darien again in this Portuguese history, because I guess it turns out, and it makes sense, even today, it's a strategic location, right? And the funny thing about it was that I had studied about the Darien scheme in Scotland, quite a while ago. And there's even another story that I studied about a while ago in the same area. It's the Garifuna and the Bayman. Um, and so there's been a lot of history in this area of Darien. But this is something that I happened to study a while back too. I just seen King Carlusa, and they're talking about the fierce people of Florida. Um, People of Florida killed many of them, so they durst not inhabit it. Um, and these would have been the people that did it, the Carlusa, where he was King Carlos. Um, Shell collectors. Sounds like they were known more for war and killing, or just being a fierce people and not taking no bullshit. Carlos, known as Carlos or King Calusa, was the king and paramount chief of the Calusa people of southwest Florida from 1556 until his death. So this is even pretty much, well, almost contemporary. No, it would have been a little bit before his time, right? And his father and predecessor was also known as Carlos. He is sometimes called Carlos II. He ruled over one of the most powerful and prosperous chiefdoms in the region at the time, controlling the coastal areas of southwest Florida and wielding influence throughout the southern peninsula. Contemporary Europeans recognize him as the most powerful chief in Florida. Look like, I don't know, proxies. I don't know. I really don't know. I guess it's an image of Carlos. Um, but we're going to continue. Um, so they sailed along the coast and came into the river of Panuco, standing 500 leagues from the point of Florida, and sailing along the coast. But the people resisted them in every place. Many of them also were killed in Chila, whom the savages flayed and ate, hanging up their skins in the temples in memorial of their valiantness. Notwithstanding all this, Francis de Garay went thither, and the next year sent and begged the government of that country of the emperor, because he saw in it some show of gold and silver. All right, we're back. People resisted them in every place. Many of them also were killed in Chila, when the savages fled. Notwithstanding all this, Francis de Garay went thither, and the next year sent and begged the governor of the country of the emperor. In the year 1519, in the month of February, Fernando Cortez went from the island of Cuba to the land which is called Nova España, with 11 ships and 500 sail. Fall Tenochtitlan is 1527, so we're coming up to it. They're about to right? People the Mexico. With 11 ships and 550 Spaniards in them. The first place where he went on land was the island of Cozumel, or Santa Cruz, where they immediately destroyed all the idols and set crosses on the altars and the image of Virgin Mary, which all worshipped. So could that be the abomination of desolation? Putting a pig on the altar, right? From this island, they went and arrived on the firm land of Yucatan at the Point de las Dueñas, or the Point of Ladies, and went thence to the river Tenesco and set upon a city fast by called Pontinacan. I have a map of the area. It's another native group. Environed with wood, and the houses were built with lime and stone. High houses of stone. And covered with tile. They fought there eagerly, and appeared unto them St. James on horseback, which increased their courage. They called the city Victoria, and they were the first people which were subdued to the Spaniards' obedience in all of New Spain. From hence they went discovering the coast till they came into a place called St. John, distant, as they said, from Mexico, where the king of Mutecuma was 60 or 70 leagues. And there was a servant of his governed that province named Pendili, which gave them good entertainment, although they not understood each other. But Cortez had 20 women, whereof one was called Marine, born in that country, they that first were baptized in New Spain, and from that time forward, Marian and Aguilar served as interpreters. Tendili presently gave knowledge of this unto Matecuma, that a kind of bearded people were arrived in his country, for they called the Castilians, for so they called the Castilians. But he was troubled upon that news, for his gods which are to be thought to be devils, had told him that such people as the Spaniards. Ooh, okay, so this is the Israelites. This is the Israelites in Tenochtitlan. This is Moctezuma, and he was troubled upon the news for his God, so that this is the Portuguese speaking of Moctezuma, which are thought to be as devils to the fucking Portuguese. But you're talking about the Creator, had told him that such people as the Spaniards where should destroy his law and country. Wow, I didn't even read this part, man. Law. And be lords thereof, and therefore he sent gifts unto Cortez in value 20,000 ducats, but would not come to him. Ooh boy. All right, more murder and mayhem and theft, I'm sure to come. Too much of it. Shalom.